Hey, good morning everyone there in Mexico and good afternoon everyone here in Indonesia. We are from Group 11 and today we are going to show you the result of our discussion in the past 3 days. As we all know, unfortunately back in 2019, the world has been in a mess due to the COVID-19 sudden appearance. Since then, the World Health Organization, in collaboration with all the higher up of all the countries in the world, has been discussing the best way to end the problem. There are 6 brands of the COVID-19 vaccine approved and recognized by the World Health Organization, which are the AstraZeneca issued by Oxford, Pfizer by BioNTech, Sinopharm by BIB, Moderna, Janssen and Sinovac. Today our group is assigned the role as one of the stakeholders for the Sinovac vaccine for the presentation. So let us begin to present our result of discussion to you. The WHO Strategic Advisory Group of Experts, SAGE, on immunization has issued interim recommendations for the use of the Sinovac CoronaVac vaccine against COVID-19. Where SAGE has thoroughly assessed the data on the quality, safety and efficacy of the vaccine and has recommended its use for people aged 18 and above. As part of the OIL process, Sinovac has committed to continuing to submit data on safety, efficacy and quality in ongoing vaccine trials and rollout in populations, including in older adults. A large phase 3 trial in Brazil showed that 2 doses, administered at an interval of 14 days, had an efficacy of 51% against symptomatic SARS-CoV-2 infection, 100% against severe COVID-19, and 100% against hospitalization starting 14 days after receiving the second dose.
Talking about the first question, which is access to vaccines a human right? Well, according to the United Nations, health is a right and COVID-19 vaccines should be treated as global public goods, rather than as marketplace commodities available only to those countries and people who can afford to pay the asking price. The availability of vaccines, medicines, health technologies and health therapies is an essential dimension of the right to health, the right to development and the right to enjoy the benefits of scientific progress and its applications. Everyone is entitled, on an equal footing with others, to enjoy access to all the best available applications of scientific progress necessary to enjoy the highest attainable standard of health. How does diversity or multiculturalism present challenges or opportunities to the global vaccine rollout? How do certain categories such as gender, race, religion, class and nationality affect vaccine distribution? Gender and religion are not seen as a barrier to vaccination. People of different gender and religion are treated the same when getting their vaccines. But for nationality and race, problems are often found, especially for immigrants, because the government prioritizes giving vaccines to citizens and locals first. Other challenges related to diversity are the language barrier and lack of networking. The language barrier could make the information about vaccines hard to absorb. The same goes with lack of networking, which could be hard to obtain information regarding vaccination. How do pre-existing privileges and inequalities across the globe play a role in vaccine rollout? The roles of pre-existing privileges and inequalities are seen from how developed and rich countries get the vaccine rollout first and the middle to low countries after. The economic situation in third world countries is the main reason why it is harder for these countries to obtain vaccines, as the transportation fees and import fees are difficult to pay. That's why nowadays we can see that most first world countries are almost done vaccinating their people, while some third world countries have not even reached 10% of their population to get the vaccine.
On the other hand, are there biases or stereotypes that prevent equitable access to the vaccine? So far, there are no bias or stereotype issues discovered around the world, as every government in every country wants to achieve herd immunity. To achieve that, every person in the country should get vaccines equally, and that's why people are treated the same when getting their vaccine shots and given the same opportunity to get fully vaccinated. However, if there is an unequal distribution of vaccines between rich and poor countries, where it leaves millions of people vulnerable to the deadly virus. Furthermore, unequal distribution only causes inequality to increase and widens the great gap between rich and poor.
COVID-19 continues its ruthless march around the world, disrupting lives, destroying economies and undermining the Sustainable Development Goals. At this critical time, vaccine equity is the greatest moral test before the global community. We must make sure that everyone, everywhere, can get vaccinated as soon as possible. However, progress on vaccination has been grossly uneven and unfair. According to the United Nations, only 10 countries have administered 75% of all COVID-19 vaccines. Meanwhile, more than 130 countries have not received the necessary doses. Given this, we have concluded the following. Sinovac should make sure the transportation fee is fair enough for third world countries around the world. Sinovac could try to ensure that their production cost is as low as it could be so that people can buy more of the doses needed. Another factor that causes inequality is the political issue, since depending on the country that develops the vaccine, it is more or less difficult to validate it. Sinovac could focus more on distributing the vaccines to developing countries first and prioritize the vaccination in developing countries.
Chinese government could actually work with governments from all over the world to help Sinovac Biotech to subsidize its tax and shipping fee so that more people are able to buy more doses of the vaccine itself. Sinovac can boost supply and ensure equitable access for all countries.